Ladies, welcome to another video. Today's video is a bit different because we will be looking at etiquette and elegance lessons we can learn from the new hit reality TV show Young, Famous and African. I am not a reality TV show person because it's not just the kind of entertainment I like, but I had to watch this one because it is from here. In my opinion, it is the biggest reality TV show from this part of the world. It is made for us by us. And if you have seen it, let me know in the comments. But if you are yet to see it, I'll encourage you to see it, especially after watching this video, because you will look at it in a different light. There are a lot of things to learn from it when it comes to elegance, when it comes to etiquette, when it comes to femininity, dating, and even personal development. It is important to note that I am not here to bash anybody, not at all. I am here to highlight some mistakes that we made that you can learn from, that I can learn from when we are in certain settings. In this video, I picked certain things we can learn from each character. But before we get into the video proper, I would like you to hit the subscribe button, especially if this is your first time, because I found out that most of my views are from people who haven't subscribed. Amazing, right? Well, if you are yet to subscribe, please do. But if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for being a part of this community. Ladies, let's get into the video. The first character we will be looking at is Annie. Annie made two etiquette mistakes in the first episode of the show. The first was offending Khanyi, because Khanyi was the host of the party, and etiquette dictates that you don't want to offend the host of a party you are invited to. Let's not forget that Annie wasn't invited originally. She went there as Nadia's guest, so she offended Khanyi. They both have two different parenting styles, and Annie was quick to talk about how wrong Khanyi was in raising her daughter the way she was raising her daughter. Even Andile did the same thing. So both of them did the wrong thing by talking about that. If you are at a formal dining setting and you are talking to your host and your belief system or your values differ, that is not the time to talk about it. That is not the time to address it. You can always talk about it later on when you get to know each other. Don't also forget that this was the first meeting for both of them. So it would have been great for Annie and Andile to actually conduct themselves properly and not talk about Khanyi's parenting style when they were guests at her party. The second etiquette mistake that Annie made here was drawing attention to herself because she was served food that she did not like. When you are served food that you do not know, you do not understand, or you do not like, you do not draw attention to yourself. You do not make a fuss. You do not go like that. Not at all. If it is food that you are not sure about, you can have a small bite. And if after having that bite, you realize that, okay, this is not for me, it's okay to continue having your drink while maintaining conversation with the people at your table. But Annie was quick to complain about the food because steak is served in 3 different ways: medium, rare, or well done. So in that instance, she's used to eating well done and she was served either medium or rare. She didn't have to make a fuss about it. She would have just complimented every other thing that was going on while maintaining conversation with others. She did even mention in the video that thank God she had eaten before going for the party, so she had nothing to complain about. Number 3, sitting properly. Annie likes to sit, just relax. I understand you just relax and enjoy yourself, that kind of thing. But as elegant women, as women who want to show up and show off as sophisticated and refined, our posture is very important. The way we sit, the way we walk, the way we stand is very important. I have a video, elegantly sit, stand and walk, and I'll leave a card right there and you can watch that video after this one. So ladies, make sure that you work on your posture so that you're always sitting ladylike. The next thing we can learn from Annie is when she complained about the Arabian party. Diamond hosted a party and invited the cast to his house. Yes, it was outdoors. Yes, the sitting was on the floor, but it was a themed party. Annie immediately complained about it. Ladies, never do this. There's a different way to approach this. Approach it as an opportunity to learn, to experience a different culture. Don't be so close-minded and so stuck in things being your own way, because then you're not going to expand your world. That was an opportunity to ask Diamond why, the decor is that way, why it was outside, about the belly dancers, about the fireplace he created. It would have been a moment to learn so much. So when you are invited to a themed party, don't don't complain about the setup. It's a themed party. Enjoy yourself, or even yet, do a quick research so that you know what to expect. One of the things I learned from her in this TV show was to not hold on to grudges and let things fester. Annie was always quick to let the other person know they had offended her. She was quick to let you know that what you did, she didn't like it, which is something that is actually very rare because people would rather keep quiet when you have offended them and then paint you to be the worst person in the entire world. I love the fact that when she said something behind somebody, she was confident enough to say it in front of the person. So she didn't backbite, say something behind, and then in front of the person, kiss the person's ass. Oh my god. And act like everything was okay when everything was not okay. So that's one thing that we can learn from her. Always tell people when they've offended you. Give them the opportunity to apologize to you. Don't hold on to grudges and don't let things fester in your heart. The second character, Khanyi. I like Khanyi. Khanyi is very confident. I like the fact that she is very confident in who she is. She knew how to manage these people around her. She knew how to even manage their expectations. One of the things she said that really stood out was something along the lines of, I don't want to hate you without knowing you. I'm here to find out what happened, because there are three sides to a story. Your side, my side, and the truth. So even when people came to Khanyi to talk to her about others, to say, oh, this person did this, they did that, Khanyi would always go back to the person and said, okay, look at what I heard. How did this happen? Just to get a different perspective. I really like that. I also like the fact that as loyal as she is to her friends, she doesn't let them get away with doing the wrong thing. She's quick to point out that, no, what you did, it's not done. These are characters that we can emulate from Khanyi, because as you know, as crazy as she is, there's so much to learn from her when it comes to talking to people, when it comes to displaying confidence, because she may not be the wealthiest, the most beautiful, but she was comfortable in her skin. She was comfortable being who she is, and it did not affect her in any way. So for Khanyi, there was nothing major to highlight when it comes to etiquette or elegance mistakes. I just wanted us to learn from her personality. I wanted us to learn how to be confident, even in a group of powerful, beautiful women, to hold your own, to learn how to hold your own, to learn how to be diplomatic and manage the people around you. The next character is Zari. There's so much to learn from Zari. Zari is your feminine woman. Zari is your elegant woman. Very sophisticated, very classy. In my opinion, she had the best dress sense. I guess that is because I identify with the way she dresses herself. Very decent, very conservative. I remember when I shot a video for Instagram where I talked about how to elegantly walk into a room, and some ladies identified with it while others made fun of it. When you watch this reality TV show, you see how Zari walks into a room. She walks into a room and she owns it. So that is something we can learn from her. One etiquette that Zari observed was during Diamond's party. She didn't go there empty-handed. She went there with a gift, because proper etiquette dictates that you should always go with a gift for your host when you are being hosted, and she observed that particular etiquette. Another thing we can learn from Zari was to dress for the theme. If there is a theme party, dress for it. And she did mention in the video that Arabians don't dress seductively, they're very conservative in their dressing, and that was why she dressed the way she did. So she did her research and dressed appropriately for the Arabian night party. Now let's talk about the alluring and seductive side of Zari and what it means for femininity, for even your femininity. Zari knows her self-worth and knows her self-value, and that is why she divorced her first partner, because of the accusation she made that he allegedly was physically abusive to her. She also left Diamond when he cheated on her. She knows her self-worth, she knows her self-value, and when it comes to her interaction with the men, she was very feminine about it. She's very soft-spoken, and you could say, oh, it's because she's very curvaceous, she's very womanly in her physique. Yes, granted, that works in her favor. But when you watch the show, you see the way she speaks to the men around her. Even when she was talking to Diamond about the pain and the hurt he caused her, she never raised her voice. She wasn't confrontational about it. She simply, in a very soft-spoken way, let him know that he hurt her and he treated her shabbily. And that is one of the core foundations of femininity. Being able to communicate your pain and your hurt, being able to set boundaries, set your standards without having to be confrontational about it. Another thing is that she uses her feminine power to the core. She enjoys it when the men are chasing her. Even though she knows that you will not likely catch her, she enjoys it. She sits in her femininity and let the man do the work. I remember when she would hug Andile and say, this feels so good. And then turn around and tell the young man that he's just her friend. My goodness. So she knew how to attract the men, let the men do the work. She knew how to use her feminine power very well. So that is something that we all can learn from Zari when it comes to being alluring with a man. The next thing we can learn from Zari when it comes to elegance is to remain composed in the face of hate, conflict, or confrontation. In the train, when Khanyi, laid down the law, told her what she did and why she didn't like what she did, Zari was never ever confrontational. She remained composed all through all of that. That was a teachable moment because that is one of the things that is very difficult to master. Being able to remain composed when somebody's attacking you, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of mastery, and you should start working on it if this is an area you think you need to work on. The next thing that we can learn from Zari is how to accept responsibility and apologize. The 2 times she actually hurt Annie, she apologized. She accepted responsibility and tried to make things better. I did like that about her. In my opinion, I think Zari is a bit manipulative. Yeah, because what she did to Annie is not done. You don't do that. But yeah, she made a mistake and she was quick to apologize for it and try to, make Annie feel better about what happened. So that was very commendable of her. So that is why I said you need to watch this TV show. You need to watch it and see things that you can learn from it. The next character is Kayleigh. The lessons we can learn from Kayleigh is essentially dating. The first thing that we can learn from Kayleigh is to strike a balance between the time you spend with your man and the time you spend with yourself. It got so bad that Naked, talked about how he felt choked. He felt like she was spending 6 days out of 7 in his house. And you don't want to do that. He talked about needing space to miss her. And I understood where he was coming from. They're not married. They're not living together. And when you spend so much time with a man, he starts to get uncomfortable. So if you find out that you spend majority of your time with your man, time to get a life. Yes, I will tell you this. This is a time for tough love. Get a life. Get involved with yourself, with your career, with your hobbies. Learn something new. Spend time with yourself. Go out by yourself. When you have that urge to want to spend every time with him, resist it, okay? You want him to miss you. You want him to call you and say, when are you coming? I've not seen you this week. I'm missing you. Come over. You want that. And the only way you can get that is when there is, a balance between the time you spend with him and the time you disappear to go take care of yourself. The next thing is the fact that even as much as the man is not loving her the way she wants to be loved, she didn't just give up on him because not everybody knows how to love. People say, you have to know how to love me already. No, some men need a guidebook. So give him a guidebook to how to love you. And Kayleigh did that. Even took him to therapy, which I thought was really, really commendable. It is something that is not done very much in this part of the world, but I pray it was done more often. She took him to therapy to talk to him about how to treat her properly. That was really commendable. So kudos to Kayleigh on that. And the final female character is Nadia. Nadia played it safe in my opinion. She really didn't have anything to really offer in terms of elegance or etiquette or even what we can learn from her. All I know is that there was a love triangle there. She had somebody in America and then Diamond was wooing her. But one of the things I did notice was when she had a conversation with Andile. She talked about her father. She felt like men come and go. And when Andile told her to cry, she was like, I don't want to cry, I don't want to cry. That's a lady who is not in touch with her emotions. That is a lady who has deep-seated issues with men. And I really hope that she would, go for therapy and get all of that sorted so that she can be in a better place when it comes to her emotions and when it comes to her mental health also. Now the men. Number 1 on the list for men is Andile. Oh, we all love Andile. Andile says he's a gentleman in training and he really showed it. Andile dresses well, speaks well, and carries himself well. We can give him that. And he's also very emotionally intelligent, owns his flaws and his faults, doesn't try to blame anybody for it. And that was very significant when Diamond talked about when he cheated on Zari and everybody made it to look like he was at fault. Another man would have said, oh yeah, I don't mind them, women has come and stuff. No, Andile told him right there and then that it was his fault. And also talked about the fact that even when he cheated, it was his fault. Andile is the kind of person that I would say you can date, but you would have to be careful because he's talked about the fact that he has cheated before. He knows how to have deep conversations. He has amazing insight to human behavior. So when you're watching this video, study him. Study the way he relates with others, the way he talks to the women. These women felt so safe around him. Did you notice that? If you've seen the show, let me know in the comments if you noticed this. The women felt really safe around Andile because he knows how to listen to them and make them feel good. And you want that kind of man in your life. So Andile, for the ladies. The second man that we have to talk about is Swanky Jerry. I never knew Swanky was this zen because in the series, Swanky was really, really calm. When you see his fashion sense with all the colors and the avant-garde and the brightness, you would think Swanky would be a crazy person. But goodness, he's so zen. And here are a couple things that we can learn from Swanky. Number one, how to be an active listener. My goodness. Swanky can listen to people, doesn't interrupt, doesn't do, yes, I know, he just nods for you to know he's hearing you, maintains eye contact, and no matter how long the person talks and talks and talks and talks, Swanky will just listen. I started noticing it around episode 3-4, and I wanted to really continue watching to see if it would be consistent, and it really was. It really, really was. So we can learn that from Swanky. We can learn how to listen more, how to not interrupt others when they're talking, how to create a space where people can talk to you and feel like they've been heard. The second thing is how loyal he is to Annie. Annie has her flaws. She's a human being. But Swanky is so loyal to her. Swanky understands her. Swanky knows how to even talk to her because he did talk to her. He said, no, you don't go to somebody's party and tell them that the way they're parenting their children. He knew how to talk to her, how to let her know that what she did was wrong without coming off as egotistical. He didn't come across like that. So that's another thing we can learn from Swanky. I also like the fact that he diplomatically told Kayleigh what Naked had said about her spending so much time in his house. He didn't say Naked said, he was really diplomatic in letting her know. Swanky found a way to tell Kayleigh that she should give Naked some space, and that was really lovely to see. And finally, Swanky respects boundaries. With all the craziness and the messiness happening in Annie's marriage to Two-Face, I believe the only reason that they are still friends is because Swanky has respected her boundaries when it comes to her marriage. That is her marriage. You don't want to overstep your boundaries all because you believe you know better how someone should live their life. He respects her boundaries, and that is something we can learn. Always respect people's boundaries, even when you feel like they can do better, even when you feel like you know better or you think, oh, this is not good for them. If you tell them the first time and it causes problems, respect it. Respect their boundaries and let them live their life. You can only pray and hope that they see things in a different light later on. Now the next man, and that is Diamond. The ladies' man. First, I like Diamond. I don't see myself dating somebody like him, but I like him. He's very soft-spoken, knows how to woo a woman, but ultimately Diamond knows himself. And he said, I know myself. I am a player. So if you are going there, you know what to expect. He's not promising you an eternity. He's telling you that he is a player. You know that already. I also like the fact that he didn't talk bad about Zari in any way. Always said nice things about her. Always talked about the fact that she's a good mother to his children. She was a good partner, that he was the one that messed up. And I also like the fact that he knows he cannot love her the way she wants to be loved. Not many men can see that. They would think they know how to love you, even when they know they don't have that capacity to do it. He knows himself, he owns it. He doesn't run away from himself, and that is very admirable. Another thing to like about Diamond is that he knows how to woo a woman. He does. He says he enjoys the chase. He likes to work for it. He said it. What does that tell you, ladies? Men like to chase. Let him chase you a bit. He enjoys that. We don't always appreciate what we get easily. So let the man do the work. Don't be so eager to show him you like him. Oh, I've been waiting for you. No, he's not going to lose interest as long as you're not playing hard to get. Being hard to get and playing hard to get are two different things. Be hard to get. Don't play hard to get. Let him know that you know your worth, you know your value, you know what you want in a man. And if he is not willing to give you that, you'll be fine either way. Diamond is the kind of person you want to date for the short term because you want to enjoy the luxury gifts, the trip around the world and the wooing. He's not somebody for long term. And the final man here is Naked. Naked has a thing or two to learn about how to love a woman right. He does. He has to. Because they were having a conversation during the golf game. Naked said, I cook for her. Why is she saying I'm not romantic? And Diamond was like, dude, you can get anybody to cook for anybody. You need to go a step further. You see, that's a man that knows how to woo a woman. One thing I will give to Naked was the fact that he was willing to work on his relationship. You don't see that very often in men. You really don't. He was willing to go to therapy. He was willing to talk to a professional to see how he could make his relationship better. And that is why, as long as a man is willing to work on something, you may not want to give up on him too quickly. One general lesson we want to learn, ladies, when you're watching this series, I want you to watch the golf scene and the spa scene where it was just the men. I want you to watch it critically so that you can learn a thing or two about how men think and how you can protect yourself also. So that's it, ladies, for etiquette, elegance, femininity, personal development, and dating lessons that we can learn from young, famous, and African. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and even comment on this video because I look forward to reading your comments. If you've seen this show, let me know what you learned, right? Because yes, it's a reality TV show, but when you watch it from a different perspective, there's so much you can learn from it. Also, don't forget to turn on post notification right there by clicking that bell so that you do not miss any new videos that I upload. As always, be kind to yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.